This is my pallet wood desk. It's made from a combination of hollow core doors and pallet wood. It is an amazing 9 feet long. The first thing I did to make my pallet wood desk is I squared up all the pallet wood on the table saw. Once you get it all square, it's a lot easier to work with. Then I cut it all down to 1/2 inch thick, so it would lie nice and flat on the hollow core door. After that, I cut it all down to the same width on the table saw and squared up the edges on the miter saw. To prepare the hollow core door, I cut it down to size, reinforced the edges, and gave the top a quick sanding so that I could glue down the pallet wood. The big piece was made from some scraps from some other projects, so it required a little bit of extra sanding and a level to make sure it was all smooth and even. If your hollow core door was painted or primered, you'll have to give it a good sanding so that the glue will adhere to the hollow core door. Wood glue doesn't really like to stick to paint or primer. If your hollow core door is not perfect, you may have to sand it down and check for level a few times until you get it just right. This is looking pretty good. Oh yeah, nice and level. The first step to putting the pallet wood on the hollow core door is to wrap the edges. This will give your desk a really beefy look, making it look like it's solid pallet wood. Put some wood glue on the pallet wood and position it into place. Put a couple nails in to hold it into place while the glue dries. I'm using a nail gun connected to an air compressor. Work your way around the hollow core door until you get all 4 sides of your desk wrapped with pallet wood. Speaking of wrapping, I have a trivia question for you. A famous rapper opened a restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti. The name of the restaurant was inspired by one of his most famous songs. I'll read the first few lines of the song and you can try and guess who it is in the comments. Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. Alright, those were the first 3 lines of the song. If you haven't guessed yet, I'll give you 2 more lines and we'll see if you can guess it. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Alright, I may have gave too much of it away, but we'll see if you can guess it anyways. Alright, let's get back to working on this desk. The pieces aren't going to fit perfect, so it's a good idea to have a miter saw set up so that you can trim these pieces down to size so you'll have a nice clean fit. When you glue down this pallet wood, make sure you put a little glue on the edges too. After all that sanding, the side of the desk is off a little bit, so I'm going to split the difference and sand down this pallet wood a little bit to make it all even. The nice thing about making a pallet wood desk is it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to be off a little bit everywhere, but if you put in the effort, it's all going to come together. This is a great project for people struggling with perfectionism, because the very thing that makes this desk look so good is all of its imperfections. So the more little mistakes you make like this, the better the desk will look in the end. You want to get out the vacuum and clean the door up really good before you start sticking on the pallet wood. Some of these pieces are cracked on the end, so you're going to want to put a little extra glue in there. You don't want to cut these cracked ends off because they'll give the desk some real character in the end. Just be careful where you put the nails. Once it's cracked, it tends to crack more if you're not careful. I like to put the nails as far away from the cracks on the wood as I can. These nail holes from the nail gun will also give the pallet wood desk some real character too. I'm going for a butcher block look on my desk, so I stagger the wood so the ends don't line up perfectly. I like to lay each piece of wood out first to make sure it fits before I put the glue on it. I like to put a little extra glue in the knot holes too. That helps keep the original character of the pallet wood. It's really starting to come together now. This is one of my favorite parts because you can actually start to see how it's going to look. I trimmed all these pieces down on the miter saw, so I'm just dry fitting them to make sure they're all in the right place before I glue them down. Now that you got the idea how this works, I'm going to speed things up a little bit. So just remember to make sure the piece of wood fits into place and then glue it and nail it down. The glue is the secret sauce to this project. Without the glue, you could get some expansion and contraction and some cracking, and we don't want any of that. We want to build this desk to last. We want it to stand the test of time. Anybody ever hear of Kermit Jagger? This is kind of an old-timer's joke. Kermit Jagger needed to take out a large loan, so he went to his bank and met with a banker named Patricia Whack. Patricia asks, "Do you have something you can offer in collateral?" Kermit responded by placing a little porcelain figurine on the desk. Patricia was not impressed, but she went to her manager and explained the situation. The manager laughed and replied, "It's a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the frog a loan. His old man is a rolling stone." I like to line up the edge pieces and then mark them with a pencil and trim them down to size on the miter saw. Wow, this pallet wood desk is really starting to look good. In my next video, I'm going to fill all the gaps with wood fill. And then I'm going to give my desk a really good sanding before I put on the stain. You can check it all out right here in my Pallet Wood Projects playlist. If you liked this video, remember to like and subscribe and leave me a comment below.